one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto. Every day on this channel, we teach you how to make money with Bitcoin and digital assets. I'm your host, DZ, and we got a very special Friday show for you today. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, some major macro indicators positioning where Bitcoin is set to go on a huge rally. We're going to break down every single one of them, and we're going to back test them to see what are the odds some of this is going to play out. We got one, the odds are almost about 80%, folks, where things are looking very bullish. We're going to talk about SWI. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about your favorite altcoins, and we're going to probably answer some questions in the chat. So thank you for joining, Disco fam. Smash that like on your way in. There's going to be a very special, yet again, DZ episode. And folks, we do have some trades in. We went a little degen. We're live right now in some trades, and I decided to escalate a bit, folks. I decided to go to 69x. And we opened some of these right before, and a lot of people don't like the degen trade, so maybe I won't focus on it too much there. But if you're wondering, we're going to go into a member stream later on in the Discord, and we'll talk about more of these trades. And if you're a member on YouTube, we're going to upload it so you could catch it afterwards. But let's look at the crypto market here. Bitcoin, you can see with this pretty severe pullback, but in the last 2 minutes, things started looking a little bullish. Let's go to a little bit of a larger candle here. You can go to the 5-minute candle, and you can see that it looks like the bears are in control today. If we check the RSI on this small time frame, looks like we're getting a little bit of reversal on the 5 minutes. So this is one of the first steps we need to see. We need to see the RSI, the relative strength index, start to reverse on some of the larger of the small time frames here. And so we go up to the 7. We're still seated on the 7. We go up to the 10-minute. Still seeing it on the 10-minute. Let's jump up to 20, and then we no longer have the bull divs there. So we want to see this turn around, and not seeing it on the 20-minute makes me think, there could still be some pain up ahead. So we're going to be scalping any trades that we're in. So I might be closing fairly quickly there, folks. So that's the story with Bitcoin. Thanks for listening here. Now let's look at the other coins in the crypto market here. Dogecoin down about 0.8%. Cardano down about 1%. Solana down about 0.5% here. So we're just seeing a little muted moves, a little baby moves, a little itsy bitsy moves here. We go for the major moves. The biggest gainer is going to be in your portfolio as your largest holding once you hit the like button, and then once I hit this 24-hour button. And we can see that it is Say. Say is still making some major moves to the upside. We talked yesterday about why Say is pumping. So if you missed yesterday's live stream, go check that out. Aptos is up as well, and Aptos is part of the story here. These have been given a big test pilot, everybody. So let's go through all the good alts to buy on the stream. So a good heuristic. That's a good question there. Who is this? JJ? JJ, great question. One of the best things you can do is on an uptrend day, you look for, the largest movers. Right now, we're not so much in an uptrend day. So this is going to be aberrations in the market. So Say right now is an aberration in the market. So you don't want to bet on, all right, well, it's pumping on this day, so I know it's going to pump 3 days from now. You want to look at maybe larger moves. So when Bitcoin is green 5%, that's a better indicator of what's going to do well if it's doing well on that day. When Bitcoin is down 0.5%, trying to guess what's going to be hot a month from now, a little bit harder. But I would say if you go to the 30-day, look for maybe some of the larger coins in the top 50, that's going to give you a good idea. Don't pay attention to Bitcoin Cash, though. Hype, I would say, is probably going to do fairly well. Over the last 30 days, it is up 6.5, while most of the markets are down. So keep an eye on Hype over the next 12 months. Uniswap, also looking pretty good right there. And if we keep scrolling, people like to hate on Tron, but Tron is one of the best charts in crypto when you look at it priced in Bitcoin. So we're going to go to TRX BTC. This is Tron priced in Bitcoin. And let's go to a large time frame. Most altcoins wish they look this good against Bitcoin on the price chart. Now, of course, we're not going to count 2017, 2018 ICO mania. But if you look at just the last 4 years, this is going to January 2020. So we're looking at the last 5 years. holding your own against Bitcoin as well as Tron. Most alts would kill for a chart like this. So there are a few charts that look pretty good against Bitcoin. You can go to some of the strongest alts around. One of my favorite alts, Link. If you look at Chainlink priced in Bitcoin, and let's just say we'll go from 2020, it's a nice recovery from these levels from January, but this one maybe not as good. This one looks like it's more in a downtrend there. So you want to see, just maybe one of the ways you can pick the better alts. But speaking of the best alts, let's go to the worst. So from the best to the worst, we have SPX 6,900 with a huge decline here, is 0.1% away from being down 6.9%. TIA is also down. Seeing TIA down 45% makes me think long term, it's not a coin that I want to hold. Now, this might look good 30 days from now, 90 days from now, but when I see that it's down 45%, makes me think it's not going to do so good 900 days from now, 300 days from now. And sometimes you need to have that type of mentality when we're trading in crypto here. Do you think the Fed will cut rates in July? Don't listen to me. Listen to Big Money. So you go to Polymarket, you go to Economy. Up on the top, you're going to see Fed rates right here. You click on Fed rates. So what are the markets saying? The markets are saying it is going to happen. This is it looks like it has actually gone up a little bit. The odds of no change. So we got about close to 1 out of 4 odds. Now we're down to 1 out of 5 odds. So the odds are we don't. My gut says yes, but I wouldn't fade Polymarket. That would not be good advice, generally speaking here. All right, let's get into the news here, folks. Now, first, you do want to buy the dip. I just want to share. This is a selfie I took, or somebody, I think Josh took this of me. This was me, just buying the dip, man. Do you have a little bit of cash on the sidelines? Buy the dip. You got some cash on the sidelines? Buy that SPX. Probably going to go up. It will go up. Question is, will you sell when it goes up? That's why you watch the channel. We try to tell you to take profits. XRP always dumping and still in court. XRP also has a pretty good Bitcoin chart. If we want to look at this real quick, XRP BTC, great chart. Let's just for reference, we'll look at ETH. Not nearly as good. Now, sure, there's huge gains to be had, but if you look since 2021, I mean, you were just bleeding against Bitcoin, bleeding. So XRP, Tron, a lot of those chains look pretty good. But let's talk about the big indicator here. 78% accuracy. Sounds like smoke and mirror. Sounds like a bunch of doo-doo. They went back and they tested this, folks. So this is actually, I kind of looked at it myself. And we're going to go on a little avenue down here. We're going to talk about engulfing candles. We're going to talk about the Gulf of America. No, engulfing candles and what they mean. So since 2021, 78% of Bitcoin's bullish engulfing patterns have led to new local highs, especially within the broader uptrend. We're going to explain this in a second. So Bitcoin closed Monday with a strong 4% daily gain, forming a bullish engulfing candlestick that fully reversed the previous 2 days of bearish price action. So let's look at it. Bullish engulfing in pattern. So a lot of you, this is going to be the first time you've heard this, first time you're being educated on this. This is actually something it's worth paying attention to. So bullish engulfing pattern, the length of the bullish candle will engulf the previous red candle. Now, on this article, they're going to be talking about a green candle engulfing 2 red candles. So you're going to maybe need a little bit more. So the bullish candle will close above previous candles open. And if you want to know how candles work, so you'll start at an open, and if you end above, you're going to have a green candle. If you end below, you're going to have a red candle. So and then you see the close, it's going to be the opposite end. So this lets you know it opened right here, end up closing right there. So the bullish candle opens at or lower than the previous close, fully engulfs it. And in this case, fully engulfs the last 2 red candles. This is your bullish engulfing pattern. Smash that like button if you learned something today. All right, so let's get into the data to assess the reliability of this pattern. Cointelegraph did a comparative analysis of all bullish engulfing formations since 2021. Now there's some criteria here. There's criterion. The engulfing candle must encompass at least 2 candles. So it's going to be a little bit more rare. The pattern should emerge at the tail end of a corrective phase, indicating a potential trend reversal. And in the sessions following the pattern, a clear break of structure should be observed to confirm bullish momentum. So since 21, Bitcoin has 19 instances of bullish engulfing patterns meeting this criteria. So this has happened 19 times in the past 4.5 years. So out of these, 15 of the 19 led to a formation of new local highs in the following days or weeks, translating to a historical success rate of 78%. So we're not just pulling numbers, just typing in a calculator and flipping it upside down, be like, ho ho ho, ho ho ho, 58008, ho ho ho. No, this is back tested and this is data driven, folks. So let's go here. So Bitcoin flashes also another bullish indicator, undeniably bullish liquidity conditions. So the market conditions are flashing a setup not seen since late 22. Despite widespread panic, Bitcoin bottomed at $16,000 during this period. You can see a little bit faint, but this gray translucent line right here, this is Bitcoin's price. And so this is liquidity. So liquidity collapsed, but its recovery caused a bull run. So you can see the blue line right here, liquidity falling off a cliff. Price right here is around $16,000 a Bitcoin. So that's what we're looking at. Now let's go to today. So that back then it went to 16.8 and then doubled over the next 3 months. So according to Swissblock, liquidity levels have returned to those not seen since December 22, hinting at a bullish correction, a continuation of the bullishness. So this is very, very bullish. We like what we're seeing here. Here's Swissblock's post about this. Last time we saw the setup was 3 years ago. What followed was undeniably bullish. It was December 22, right after FTX collapse, bottomed at 15.6, ignored the panic, and then doubled over the next 3 months. Different circumstances, yes. Different players, sure. But one thing remains true. When liquidity recovers, price follows. Price always catches up to fresh liquidity. Now, it went lower. Let's warn you. There's no guarantee liquidity will just bounce from these levels. Liquidity may still slide to the downside. But you can see right here during this period did not. This was after the profit taking period there. Did not happen. So this is going to be 25. This is going to be 24. So this is right after, BlackRock, IBIT launched. Everything peaked around March. Started dumping around April. And then you can see liquidity finding a bottom right there in June. We've talked about June and how it's kind of always the local bottom. So maybe we go a little bit lower. Maybe we bounce from this area right here, but all signs pointing to bullishness. So just something to keep on your radar here, keep on your mind. Breaking news: Dog is available on Kraken. Yeah, Dog was up 16%. Shout out to the Dog community. Shout out to BitLab. Shout out to Kelly. Telling a lot of people about that one since it was cheap. We got Professor DZ. I am a college dropout. Went to school, dropped out 2 different times for my accounting degree. First time I dropped out was for a promotion at a job. Maybe that was a job at a general. I hesitate to talk about it. I was an accountant for a club that had ladies of the night. It was a different time. It was a different era. I was in my early 20s. But then I went back to school and I dropped out in 2017, 2018, because I saw the AI revolution. And I saw, this was 7 years ago, that accounting was going to be one of the first industries severely impacted by AI. A lot of people thought I was an idiot. Like, well, why would you not want to be a CPA? AI is going to take over. 2017, telling people that, they thought you were crazy. So thank you for that. I'm no professor. I'm still just a student of life. We're all in it together. All right, let's talk about more bullishness here. U.S. futures also hitting a record high, but not Bitcoin futures. That's what I thought when I saw this. Oh, we're talking about Bitcoin futures. That's, to me, bearish. No, we're talking about stock market futures. And I went back and I just kind of tested the last local peak here. So we're going to see, is this going to turn into something? So U.S. stock futures hit record highs, fueling predictions that Bitcoin could soon break past resistance to hit a new price peak. So when stock futures hit record highs, maybe it sets up Bitcoin for a new peak. That's the thesis here. So the stock futures are record highs as the country's largest markets are nearing their peaks, which could help propel Bitcoin to reach another all-time high. S&P futures entered a new all-time high on yesterday with the index tapping 6,100. NASDAQ composite futures also hit a peak around 20,000. The S&P has gained 23% since the crash on April 8th. So stock futures, if you didn't know, derivative contracts where traders agree to buy or sell something specific and at a set price at a future, let's just say sell date. So you see a stock trading for $100 and you think it's going to be 110. So I borrow a share from, Billy, and I say, Billy, I'm going to give you this share in the future. It's $100. I tell you what, I'll give you your share. Billy's not going to sell. Billy is diamond handing these stocks. So Billy doesn't want to sell if it's going up, going down. He just, it's part of his portfolio. And I say, all right, let me borrow this. And it's $100 today. I'll tell you what, let me borrow it for a month and I'll give it back to you. And you'll make I'll give you a couple bucks. So we're doing nothing with your stock. You do nothing and you just make a couple dollars. And so that's what you're going to see with these derivative contracts. They're going to, set a price at a future date. Hey, this stock is going to be $100 or $110. And then they agree to set that price for the future expiration date. And so if they don't give the share back, I got to give Billy whatever the share price is so he can go ahead and buy that back. So anyways, they trade overnight before markets open. They often provide insight and signals on how the stocks are going to do on the following day. So we're looking at some of this data. I just went straight into it. So this is NASDAQ. Didn't have all the time in the world. I was setting up a lot of different charts and stuff. So, I had a limit, I only set up 7 charts today, folks. So I wanted to go a little, so we just did NASDAQ. I haven't done S&P 500. I just want to look, what's the last big open local peak that we got? It seems like to me, it was the July 10th, 2024. And so this was, the first major reversal. It's the first, nice peak for the stock market. So the question is, what the heck did Bitcoin do July 11th and over the next few days? So what happened to Bitcoin over the next few months? And so it would take the stock market 119 days to set a new all-time high. 119 days. So let's go back and let's look at Bitcoin July 10th, 2024. July 10th, 2024. Look at the difference we saw. So US stock futures, record high. Oh my God, everything's going up. And then Bitcoin, it went up and set in that lower low. That was the August 5th flash crash. Every altcoin just bled and bled. But July 10th is this candle right here. It's the candle right here. And so Bitcoin would then go on a tear. So while the stock market set in a local peak and then crashed, you look at Bitcoin, pump for a few days, set a lower low. Oh my God, it's over. No, then Bitcoin went on a major run. So we just got a lot of confluence on a lot of this. Now we got one more Bitcoin long-term holders. Was this on here? So Bitcoin long-term holders, also something to pay attention to. I had that a little out of order. Bitcoin long-term holders stacking 800,000 Bitcoin per month in a record hodl run. All right, this is almost insane. There's only 21 million. There's only 19 million that are circulating. And really, there's probably only 15 million because a lot are lost forever. It's 15 million. They're stacking dang near a million in 1 month. So let's look at the data here. So the long-term holder supply has increased by 800,000 coins over the past 30 days. Data shows that even 750,000 Bitcoin increase has only occurred 6 times in Bitcoin's entire history. We're not talking about since 2021. We're talking about forever. And so we got the definition. So the Bitcoin long-term holders, entities holding coins for at least 6 months without selling. They have doubled down on their commitment despite the price hitting new all-time highs. Now, sometimes I scroll into the chat, because I'll highlight a comment and then I go back and it's kind of stuck there. So I got to go back to the comment section and I got to hit the wheel. Then sometimes I forget and then come back to the article page and it goes zzz. So if you ever wonder why sometimes the article just looks like it's on speed, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm the speed pusher here. So analyzing the long-term holder supply change, Crypto Quant said on a rolling 30-day basis, supply increased by a net 800,000 Bitcoin. This is a new record. We've hit 756 times. We've never hit 800. So the 30-day LTH increases have only passed 756 times. Two most recent, July 21, September 24, each preceded a Bitcoin price spike. And this right here is August. This right here is September. So last time we saw the accumulation of this style was this period right here. And so, people can be bearish. I'm choosing bull. I'm choosing the bull flags here. All right, Bitcoin long-term holders are accumulating at the highest rate in history. And so looking at it in chart form, you see positive difference here. So I'm assuming, I guess it maybe it spiked above this. If not, these are around the 750. So maybe it's just a local record there, but major accumulation by the long-term holders who, yet again, remember, these are people who have not sold for at least 6 months. They're doubling down, folks. They're doubling down. The question is, are you doubling down? In fact, I sold I'll say dead altcoin, a speculative base DeFi play that I bought over a year ago on Coinbase. I was down. It was a small amount. It was a speculative play. I didn't really follow it because it was such a small amount. I was down. It was roughly around 50 cents. I just put it all into Bitcoin. You know, I remember looking at it probably 6 months ago. Oh, ETH is going to turn around. Base DeFi is going to turn around. It was Goldfinch Protocol. I'll just say it, GFI. And I was like, oh, this is going to turn around. This is going to turn around. Today, I just capitulated, went full into Bitcoin. So there's your signal. Altcoin season is going to start. Oh, you sold ADA. Ha, 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 ha. I've been selling some ADA for altcoins. I have sold ADA for SNEC, and I'm thinking about getting some Strike. And Strike is the hype of Cardano. It is a perpetuals contract. I might have to do a bigger deep dive on this. We got Solon A. I'm enjoying the solo quite a bit. He's talking about Han. Just stay on topic and are very knowledgeable. Hey, appreciate it. I'm just trying to pass on what I know. What do you know about chain swap, C swap? Do you think about during the bull when Chainlink makes its move? I've had not great experience in the derivatives of some of these all-encompassing plays where it's like Chainlink is doing a whole lot of stuff. And it's like, well, this is doing a lot of stuff on top of Chainlink. But it's like, yeah, but if you zoom out 5 years, doesn't Chainlink can like do all of that or have competitors? So I don't know if I did too well on C swap there. Sunken cost fallacy sure is a thing. Steve-O, he saw it. He saw it with his SPX 6900 price action. No, I think it's going higher. It's got a good community here. 109 and K and up shorts are going to lose their pants. So let's look at the Bitcoin price here. 1 minute. Yeah, we're just kind of still chopping around here. Let's look at ETH. Kind of look at the alts. We'll look on a small time frame here. And ETH is still chopping around, If you look at the RSI, though, in the small time frames, we're still looking pretty good. We're still trying to, get that relative strength index to the upside. Let's start increasing these candle sizes here. I'm going to need to delete this. It's going to be all up in my way. Why y'all in my grill? Let's stretch it. Let's go to 20. RSI looks terrible on ETH here. 10 minute, we got some bull divs. 12 minute, we still got one. You go like the 25 minute. Nah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. So we're seeing the strength index is essentially equal to where it's at right here. However, the price is higher, suggesting weakness. And so this should suggest that, maybe a little bit. One more wick to the downside would be my best guess here. Let's go to liquidation heat map and see, is there liquidations right around this 2,415? Yeah, leave. Don't you ever question me, TradingView. All right, we're going to go to Ethereum. We'll just do Binance, ETH USDT. We're going to go to the heat map here. So on the left side, you're going to see heat map. To me, I just like to make a sideways so it matches the candle pattern. And what did we say? We were saying it was going to happen. Let's get that price one more time. It's gone forever. That's right. I left. I think it was 15, right? 24.15. Let's go to 12 hour. Yeah, the first order block is 24.09. So maybe looks like this little wick to the downside. Grab some. Let's go to one more exchange here. We'll go to Gate. And right there, 24.11. So maybe not quite 24.15. So 24.10, 24.9. Be careful. It looks like it might want to do one more quick grab, but we honestly got a lot of the large juicy order blocks. So this could be a potential sign to the reversal here. Now we're starting to look a little bit more juicy to the upside. But remember what I said about the magnets. This is a more powerful magnet. This is a weaker magnet, but the piece of metal is closer to the weaker magnet. Josh likes to use windshield wiper. I like to use magnets because that's, to me, a little bit easier. So it's like, sure, it's a weaker magnet, or there's less raindrops on this side of the windshield, but like it's just closer. So right now it's hard to determine a distinctive direction there. So I would just say warning. All right, let's get into more ETH news here. So that's the long-term holders. Okay. Oh no, we still got Bitcoin stuff, baby. Bitcoin miner revenue dropping to a 2-month low. But they're still not selling. I'm not freaking leaving. That's what they're saying. I'm not freaking leaving. Miners are capitulating. I'm sorry I scared you with that. I'm not freaking leaving. The miners, they're not leaving, folks. The miners are earning less than at any point this year, but they're still holding on to their coins. So the daily mining revenue dropped to 34 million on earlier this week. This is the weakest since April and amongst the lowest levels over the past year. Now the drop comes. Why, right? Price isn't super low. Well, there's a drop in transaction fees and it's hovering near a local low. So this is reducing the incentives for miners to stay online. Yeah, we were just talking about Dog. Speaking of Bitcoin, Dog just got listed. Spot trading today by the rumor sell the news, or I need the DZ take there. I'd have to back test it. We can do it in the member stream. I will look at the most recent example that's similar to the Dog listing on Kraken. Let's get technical here. I think to me, that's going to be the SNEC listing on Kraken. And so I would look at what this is like a coin, a little bit harder to buy. Like you need self-custody wallets and, or like on some real shit exchange. So, Dog and SNEC, I think we're in similar situations, old dinosaur chain, And so what the heck did SNEC do in the preceding 72 hours or the following 72 hours after the Kraken listing? My guess, it's going to be a similar move. And so if SNEC just kind of like pumped for a few days to wreck everybody trying to short it, maybe Dog's going to do something similar there. So that would be my Dog take there, multi-sig dummy. So you're no dummy. You're in the disco fan, baby. We got someone, DZ, Peanuts. Okay, I thought that was a dog with my boomer eyes. And I was going to say, hey, man, we got people, talking about Dog, the token. No, they're talking about legumes. All right. No. So, all right. So they're making less money. Fees are down. Bitcoin local low. Might as well turn your machine off at this point. Well, that's why the hash rate has dipped 3.5%. This is the most significant pullback computing power in about a year, folks, since July 2024. Well, what the heck happened July 2024? Let's go to the daily. It's right before the August crash. This is July 20. This is the 4th of July weekend. Very, very bad times for altcoins. I mean, this felt a lot worse than it probably was. Bitcoin losing $8,000 in 2 days. That was pretty dramatic, especially when Bitcoin's only in the 60s. So, imagine, Bitcoin's 61. Bitcoin's price is almost double. So it's like losing $16,000 in 2 days. It's a very, very dramatic pullback. And so we're seeing similar situations to where we're at right here. What ended up happening, we end up pumping. We did get one more washout, but then after that, it was essentially higher lows and up only, everybody. So the miners looking like things might turn around here. The takeaway is miners are playing the long game. They're either anticipating a rebound or preferring to burn through their cash rather than sell at the current prices. This further suggests there's no selling pressure coming from the miners at these price levels. Remember what we said yesterday about the Satoshi era miners? 2024, these old mining rigs that mined Bitcoin from 2009 to 2011, that is Satoshi era. If you're wondering why they call it Satoshi era, it is because this is when Satoshi, the creator of Bitcoin, was still messaging on the online forums. Once he disappeared from the forums, then we're no longer in Satoshi era. We're in the DZ era. So during the Satoshi era, in 2000, they mined a lot of Bitcoin, right? It was like 50 every block, and then it went to 25. So they're just like, they're just grabbing so much Bitcoin with like an old crappy laptop from Best Buy. No, from Circuit City. And so they're mining Bitcoin. They did it in 2010. They did it in 2011. Those cohorts in 2024 sold 10,000 Bitcoin. I mean, it's like the reverse Roseanne, where she grabs all the chips. Ha 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 ha! This is the opposite. They're pushing 10,000 Bitcoin onto the market. That was in 2024. We're halfway through the year, so that means they would have sold. No, what about like 5,000 this year? No, they've sold 150. Okay, 150 to 5,000. We're talking about major difference. So the miners, they're increasingly getting diamond hand, folks. And then that's where you get the parabolic run up when we get a little supply shock there. All right, now Kelly's in here. He's probably talking about Dog. Big shout out to Kelly here. Dog fully distributed, no team tokens to dump, no paid KOLs, and launched from community engagement. No paid like most memes. Hyper bullish on Dog. Has top meme engagement on socials. I feel like a lot of coins claim that, but I would say Dog might be one of the ones where it's actually true here. Let's see. Doge has a $1 trillion company backing it. Talking about Dog versus Doge. I assume you're meaning Elon's X backing it. Sure, kind of, I guess. Maybe backing it a little bit harder, better. Sounds better than SNEC. Oh, I got a hot take here later. We're going to look at the last 365 days. Chat, I want you to get ready to type in ETH, ADA, or Sol. Of the last three, I didn't like what I saw. Over the last 365 days, which altcoin has done the best? ETH, ADA, or Sol? Over the last 365 days. So we're going to do that breakdown in the next few minutes, folks. So, all right, now ETH, record amount of ETH shorts, ready for a massive short squeeze. And so as people, they're betting on it to go down, means it's higher likelihood that it's going to go up, and all these people are going to lose their Tether or ETH to the exchanges, depending on how they're trading it. Hey, thank you for the new member there. We got people blazing Bandit with the old school NFT there. We're going to do a member stream right after this in the Discord. We have a description in there how to join, but don't worry, I'm recording it and I'm putting it in the members tab so you can watch it, and we get a little bit crazier in that one. All right, so we got people guessing. So what's the best alt of those three over the last 365 days? Probably ETH. We got people Sol, probably going to be Sol. They're all bleeding against Bitcoin, but that person might know the answer. ETH is the best. No, Sol was the best. ETH did the best. So we're going to go into the data. We're going to check it out there. Raul saying it is Solana. All right, so I'm saying it's ADA. And this is the ultimate take. Either way, all three bleed to Bitcoin, unless you're Tron or XRP. Remember, folks, remember. All right, so we're going to look at it. Don't you worry. We're going to determine. We're going to go. I feel like Maury. The test determined that altcoin was a lie. All right, SWE. Let's talk about SWE. SWE just got added to NASDAQ listed company, added to their balance sheet. But it wasn't just SWE. I thought this was going to have more. SWE, Solana, and Hype for its crypto treasury. It's called Lion Group, and it is Siegfried and Roy's. No, we shouldn't joke about that. That was a tragedy. No, it was. I don't even know what it is. I'm just trying to make you smile there. So hit that like button. So it's Lion Group Holdings Limited. Let's see what the heck they are. I'll tell you the truth. I don't even know. All-in-one trading platform. Okay, so it's a trading platform. You got to be careful with some of these things. Like you might not know Metaplanet. It's a Japanese hotel company with one hotel. So Lions Group. So it looks like operates a trading platform for corporations and individuals there. And so they have added SWE, and they're using proceeds from a $600 million convertible facility there. So people like those altcoins. Solana, it's going to be hard for this little announcement to do any kind of movement, but SWE, liking the news, Hype, liking the news. Let's actually go to CoinGecko here, and we'll look at all the tokens there. So SWE, added to a corporate balance sheet. It's up 1%. We'll take it. And Hype, added to a corporate balance sheet, and it's down 3% there. So that one is to the downside. Now, do I like Hype? I think I do. This is... like if you compare its revenue and metrics, and you're looking at like earnings per token, like you would look at earnings per share, sure, this is wildly overvalued compared to a comparable thing on the NASDAQ. It's the earnings per share ratio is just totally ridiculous. You have to own a whole lot to recoup, what Hype would generate in revenue there. But when you look at in crypto glasses, just having revenue kind of puts you heads and shoulders above a lot of your peers there. So I'm pretty bullish on Hype long term. All right, now back to SWE. We got some SWE charts from Raoul Powell. He's, as far as I know, the first one to slap M2 and Bitcoin together. He has a thing called Real Macro Investors, RMI. Founder, CEO, what did I say? Real Macro Investors? Sorry, I'm wrong. Global Macro Investor at Real Vision. It should be Real Macro. I'm changing his name. But yeah, he's a really, really smart analyst, especially when it comes to macro. Saying for those of you in SWE, these are my charts. Shorter term, things are looking good. So get out of here, you stupid blue tab. But he also has the longer term chart right here. Let's go to the SWE chart. This doesn't play out every time. I don't know what the percentage is. Oftentimes, not every time, oftentimes, crap, I screwed it all up. Oftentimes, this right here can give you a breakout target. It's not, you know, you don't see everybody talking about this, but you measure basically the maximum length of a channel, and then that'll give you potential target. Again, it doesn't happen every time, but if you look right here, I mean, that ended up being perfect. I think I actually made it too long too. So that actually, I think was really, really accurate. Yeah, so that ended up playing out. I mean, almost to a T, like down to a couple pennies. So let's do the X. We'll do the next one. We'll do the next one. I don't even think you can count there. So, work with me, not against me, you son of a gun. So this isn't the best target, but this is a log chart, so it's, you know, it's not terrible. We got $3.72 current levels, close to a 40% pump. And so this might break out to a nice little 40% pump. My guess would be it will consolidate and then retest this line. That would be my guess. And then we would get, you know, on the path to $5 and on the path to a new all-time high. All-time high is right around $5.26. You also had the larger chart. Let's go ahead and delete these. We'll leave the squiggle line. Yeah, I mean, it's looking good. Yeah, okay. I can definitely see it just train along in this little range there, folks. So there you go, a little sweet TA action here. Now let's get into this. Cardano price has overperformed Ethereum and Solana in the last 12 months. I bet you're hearing it first time here. I bet you're also hearing it for the first time. Smash that like button if this is the first time you have heard this, or give me a little thumbs emoji in the chat. I am Mr. Cardano. I love Cardano. Of course, I have Bitcoin. Of course, I have Solana. Of course, I have ETH. Of course, I have, you know, a lot of the Trump alts. I got some Aave. I got some Chainlink. I got some Mondo. You know, I have Cardano native tokens. I got some meme coins. You know, I got a little Doge on my Robinhood. I got a little Snake in a corner. I got a little Shiba. You know, I got a little Peanut. You know, I trade some fart. So, you know, I'm in the ecosystem, but I love Cardano. And I still did not know this, folks. I was not aware that Cardano had outpumped Ethereum and Solana. We're going to go look at the charts real quick. Sweet or link for you. I bought one of those tokens during the dip this week. I bought Chainlink. So, and then you heard me say I converted into Bitcoin today. So the last two that I bought is Chainlink and Bitcoin. Now, I don't just buy Cardano. And then before that, I think it was SNEC. I've added to my SNEC position. First time in a long time. And I'll probably buy some Strike today. I was looking at Strike today. I didn't pull the trigger, though. I mean, look at the price 365 days ago. Sure, it was but ugly. All right, so let's go. We'll do ETH first. We'll do by market cap size. So 365 days. I did 2-day candles, so I missed it by a day. Let's go move it to the 27th. I mean, you can move. You can be as generous as you want. You know, you come down the bottom of the candle, and you still have ETH down 27%. And so 365 days, ETH is down 27%. So let's go to Solana. 365 days. Let's be, now this one I think it has a little bit more leeway because there's just such a large wick there. But, you know, you can see this is where we're at pretty much right now. And we go back 365 days, 366. I must not be able to count. It was a leap year. Get off my back. It was a leap year. 2024, I know. All right, so this one, a lot of leeway. This is on the 27th, I guess, because they're waiting for the daily candle. I just went to the top of the body. Now, if you go to the bottom, you could make an argument for a slight pump. So we'll be fair, you know, we'll say that there. So yeah, there is a slight pump there, and it is 3%. Now, there's a lot of fluctuation 365 days ago. I mean, you saw that candle. Let's stretch it out and look a little bit. I mean, this was a huge price difference. Started the day at 136, ended the day at 149. I think it's fair to do the closing candle, which is why we did it from right there, or the day's end. But you could do it from the start. You can do it from the starting candle, and yeah, you're up a little bit, baby. We'll take that. We'll take that 3.8% win there. Now let's do Cardano, best for last. Cardano's price action was a year ago, folks. It was pretty bad. So yeah, I'll say, yeah, it was low. It was low, and then it went lower. But when Cardano goes on a run, Cardano goes on a run. Part of the bad side and good side of less trading, lower volume, is on red days, it can go down. It can go down pretty hard. But the good side of lower volume on a token like Cardano, one, it's lower volume because people diamond hand it a lot more than some of the other strong major top 10s. People just sit on it for 5 years, unlike Solana, unlike Ethereum, or at least at the same levels. And it's, it's a little bit harder to self custody compared to the other two. I would say the wallet ecosystem. But when things turn bullish, because it's harder to get, it ends up shooting up even higher. All right. And so, I mean, it doesn't matter where you move that on the candle. Cardano over the past 365 days, it is up 41%. So you heard it here first. This guy talks about Cardano, man. He loves Cardano. Well, if you listened to me a year ago, you're up. You're up compared to ETH. You're up compared to Solana. But let's be fair and say Bitcoin. Again, it's the last token I bought, guys. I'm not like Mr. You can only buy altcoins. I do recommend, it is good. It is definitely good to have as much Bitcoin exposure as you're willing to tolerate without feeling sidelined. And woo! Oh, I did it backwards because I'm a dummy. Let's see here. So July 27th, June. I know what month it is. God, this guy doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what month it is. Did you not think of the smell? Yeah, you're up 70%. So Cardano, you're only up 40%. Bitcoin, you're up 70%. Solana, you caught the perfect time a year ago. You're up 3%. And ETH, you're down. You're down if you're on ETH. You're down 27%. So nice little aside there, folks. Now, let's get into the comments a little bit. We got people listing a whole bunch of altcoins. I'm ready. Let's launch. All right. They love it. Someone likes their Avalanche meme coins there. Hold all 3 8 hours are from my soul and ETH so far year over year. Well, not if you got that Solana at $10. DZ bought Sheeb. He's never admitted this before. This is actually what got me into Peanut. I immediately wanted to FOMO into Peanut, and I had to open it was a new PC, and I literally didn't have a Solana wallet on it, and I just immediately I pulled up Coinbase. I didn't have I have self-custodied Solana, just not on me. And so I just looked at Coinbase. I said, I'm buying Peanut. I'm selling an altcoin. I sold like half my Shiba position and then 10x on Peanut. With some of the profits, it's back down. So I'm not up 10x overall. But yeah, we did pretty good on that one. Trade farts all the time, folks. We trade them. We always love to trade them. Let's look at Bitcoin on the 1 minute. Ooh, I was about to say things are ugly. Let's look at fart. You can't even spell fart. Down. It is down, down, down. All right, folks. All right, and then we'll do one more meme. Let's look at Pepe. I think Pepe is going to flip Sheeb. And Pepe doing pretty well as well. All right, so big moves there. All right, now we got some David Sachs posts here. Thanks for the Senate Banking Chair, Tim Scott, and Cynthia Lummis for announcing clear timeline and plan for the crypto market structure legislation. So now we got a timeline on the Trump team and basically the Republicans, pushing a lot of this pro-crypto legislature bill before August recess. The markup for the first week of September. And this stuff should be done by the end of September. So he supports clarity on market structure as well as the Genius Act on the stablecoins. Let's get this done. And so this will be a DeFi boom. And that's why we're trying to position ourselves. We're still getting Bitcoin, but we do want to try to position ourselves in the stronger DeFi projects that I think are going to pump. I went over a lot of those on this video right here. Altcoin surge in July. My picks to make you rich. Ondo, Link, Aave. I'll go ahead and just tell you folks. And I go into the thesis, and basically all 3 of them have like a Trump connection there. So I would not dismiss Donald Trump pumping some bags, folks. That's all I'm going to say. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, let's just worry about the rules on the road. Let's not insert our opinion in it. The only thing that really matters is our P&L. The only thing that really matters is providing for our bloodline until eternity. Okay. We want to make an impact like Genghis Khan. except maybe the climate stuff there. All right, now Marty Party posting about the Fed is greenlit those banking rules in the meeting yesterday. So it means top 5 banks have free leverage to buy U.S. Treasuries. This is the same stealth QE used in 2020 after COVID. And there's, I did a deep dive on this 2 days ago, actually. And the rules basically created an avenue for banks to buy all these things. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that's what they did in 2020. A lot of them loaded up on this bad debt, basically. But then they were down on their balance sheet when you fast forward, when the interest rates changed 3-4 years ago. Well, the government did introduce a stealth buyback program. So the top 5 banks can buy these U.S. Treasuries. If they end up underwater, say 3 years from now, and they're like, God, our balance sheet looks like doo-doo. If everybody goes to withdraw, we can't meet obligations. The government will buy it at a loss. And if the government's buying it at a loss, who's actually paying for it? Is it Uncle Sam? No, it's you. It's you. And I want you to smash that like button, folks. All right. Now, Morgan Stanley expecting the Fed to deliver 7 rate cuts in 2026. We'll start in March, bringing the terminal rate down to 2.5. So Morgan Stanley, I would say maybe some smart people there, some smart analysts, they're expecting a lot of cuts, everybody. And I was looking at tariff. We're probably going to work on a deadline for the tariff video pretty soon there, folks. So I'm glad I wasn't grokking anything crazy. I just went into my last tab. All right, well, folks, that is our show for the day. We appreciate it. We're going to go live on the Discord for the member stream. Have a good time hanging out, doing all that stuff. I did have some trades. I never even brought those trades back up. Hold on one second. There we go. Pull them up here. We are a little down on FART, obviously. But, folks, we did the 69X. Where the fuck is it? 69. We did $69 with 69X. I do not recommend doing this. In fact, I'm probably just going to go ahead and close these. We did 69X on Bitcoin as well. Just having a little fun there. Let's see. We're 30, 35. We're down 20. So it's a net gain there. We're up net. That's all that really matters. You got to protect those P&L, folks, because at the end of the day, you just want more Bitcoin. You want more Satoshis, and we're positioning ourselves to get more Satoshis. And I want everybody watching to have a Bitcoin by the end of this bull run. I think if we buckle down, it is doable, folks. That's all we got. I'll see a lot of you in the Discord, and then we'll be uploading it for the members. Adios.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.